Okay, so in front of you, I just gave you a set of task cards. Okay? There are, I believe, 20 altogether. Which ones are you doing for homework tonight? 1 through 8. So at the top of the task cards, first I want you to put your name in the top right corner. Okay, so put your name up here in the top right corner. And then write 1 through 8, due Tuesday. No, today's Tuesday. Due Wednesday. Now, some of these task cards, when you read them, you're like, ooh, we talked about that. I know how to do that. The ones that you should know and should be able to get the right answer to, if you look right there by that feller in the bottom right corner, see how some of them have little stars and some of them do not. The ones with the stars are the ones that you should know, the ones that we have discussed. So the ones I am taking a grade on, okay? If they do not have a star by them, that means it goes along with this, but it's not mentioned in our book. Okay, so I still want you to try them, but if you miss them, I kind of expect it. Does that make sense? Kinley and Carter and Farah need one of those. Okay, so I'm just going to read through scenario number 1. Oh, I stole theirs to make a copy. It says, a coach thinks a special sports drink will make his players stronger. He creates 2 groups of 20 players and gives each group the same task. Each group are to lift 300 pounds. Group A is given the special drink. Group B is not given the special drink. After an hour, the coach counts how many players were able to lift 300 pounds. In Group A, 15 players were able to lift the 300 pounds, but only 5 players in Group B were able to lift the 300 pounds. It gives us a lot more information than our scenarios typically do. Focus on what you need, okay? In number 1, it says, identify the independent variable. Who can tell me not what the independent variable is, but what is an independent variable? What is an independent variable, Bryson? Something that changes in the problem. What's different between one part of the problem and the other? What is a dependent variable, Lexi? What am I measuring? How am I deciding on that thing that is changing? For C, change control group, mark out the word group, and write variable. I want you to try and come up with just one control variable for that one. Okay? So does that all seem like something we have done before? Now, when you decide on your answers, do you think you're going to try and squeeze them on this little tiny box? No. You also got the answer page. What am I? Yes. There's one on my desk. Oh, where was the answer page? I pulled up the wrong one. Your answer page says the scientific method answer sheet. For number 1 on it. What does it say next to number 1 on your answer sheet?
A, B, C.
It says A, B, and C. Why do you think it has an A, a B, and a C? Lexi?
Because it wants you to explain what the independent and the dependent and the control variable is.
Yes, it's giving you a spot. Sorry, I pulled up the wrong one. It's giving you a spot to write all of those things out. Okay, so you don't squeeze them in the tiny little task cards. There is a whole answer sheet to write them. See, it looks exactly the same, but I think if I go to the bottom of this one, there it is. Okay, so for number 1, you will answer part A, part B, part C. Now, let's read number 2, because number 2 doesn't have the little star by it. What does that mean? Yeah, it means it's not in our textbook. Remember, each textbook words this stuff and gives a little bit different information, but we might still be able to figure out the right answer by, what's that word, where it's not actually there, but we can kind of get to an answer. You talk about it in Miss Beer's class a lot. Addie? Yeah, you can make an inference on using what you know and kind of the clues that are there. Who can read me task card number 2? Go ahead, Elia.
Which of the following best describes the scientific theory?
Okay, which of the following best describes a scientific theory is that word? Okay? Letter A, an educated guess. When we hear the word educated guess, what should pop into our head, Hutley? Hypothesis. Did it say I'm trying to define a hypothesis? No, so can't be A? No, unless there's another word for hypothesis. So next to A, let's just write HYP. Just to show us that can't be it because that's describing a hypothesis. With me, Wyatt? B says, a set of hypotheses accepted as fact. Thank you. You're welcome. What do you think about that one? Is that a maybe? Possibly. Okay, let's say C, a hunch that often leads to a new hypothesis. Why are you saying no on that one? In science, do we go on hunches? How do we come up with stuff in science? Do we just go on, I got a hunch this is how it is? What do you think, Carter? Yeah, we use the scientific method. So can a hunch lead us to a new hypothesis? We have to do some background research. It might lead us to a new question, but not a new hypothesis. Let's go ahead and mark that one out. A set of well-supported hypotheses. What do we think? Augie's saying no. So what do we have it narrowed down to? B and D. We're going to take a vote because those are comparable answers. So this one is saying our hypothesis accepted as fact. What is our hypothesis? Addie? An educated guess. So it's saying our educated guess is accepted as a fact. That is an absolute fact. D is just saying a set of well-supported hypotheses, meaning it was proven to be true. You have the support, you have the evidence that your hypothesis is true. What would you need to know the definition of to be able to help you with this? Elise? Nope, hypothesis is nowhere in that question. We already know what a hypothesis is. We said that it's an educated guess. Augie? Theory. I'm just going to give you this one because I told you I don't expect you to know this one. It is D. Scientific theory is a set of well-supported hypotheses. So even though we didn't know the answer to that one, did I expect you to know the answer to that one? No. How did you know I didn't expect you to know the answer to that one? It didn't have a star in the bottom. On those ones, do I want you to just skip them? No. What do I want you to do? Try. Like on that one, you probably could have at least bumped out A, and then you got it down to a 3. Take your best guess on those ones, okay? Does that make sense? Which ones are you going to try tonight? 1 through 8. I want you to get started on them right now.